And there's only like a handful of people in here. How's everyone doing? Good. Shout out to LOGOS and 1 year anniversary. 1 year. I'm about to just get into it. And all y'all about to just be moved like a motherfucker, I swear to God. The human being is the most suppressed life form on this planet. We have been mutilated, we have been brutalized, we have been tortured by the way that we look. We have been imprisoned, we have been enslaved, we have been colonized because of the geographical location of where we were born. We have been killed, we have been murdered because of the God which whom we choose to worship. Every single person on this planet is oppressed. Don't matter who you are, don't matter what color skin you are, what color skin you have, or how much money you have in your pocket. If it happens to some of us, it happens to all of us. We've been fed to the lions, we've been burned at the stake, we've been put in chains, we've been thrown in the shower with a gas chamber. That's all of us. Human beings are the most oppressed species in this galaxy. We're so oppressed, we internalize this oppression. We hate ourselves. We hate ourselves so much to the point that we don't like the color of our skin, or the texture of our hair, or the size of our nose. If you go to any brown country, anywhere on the globe, I guarantee you will see some skin whitening cream. Anywhere at the cosmetic shop, at the mall, at any grocery store. And if you need reference to see what that looks like, you can just Google Sammy Sosa. And white people don't think that you're exempt from this, because I could go to Bellevue or Kirkland and see about 10, 15 tanning salons as soon as I get off the exit. It's everybody. Even before we was born, we was told that we were inherently evil, that we was wicked, that it's within our nature to be selfish, that we can't get along. What do you think that does to our subconscious? What do you think that does? How do you think that shapes our perspective of the world, of our reality? If all we seem to hear and see and experience is that we are evil and that we are not good enough, of course we're going to be oppressed. Of course we're going to be oppressed. Prevents us from living within the moment at times. Can't enjoy the sunrise or the magnificence of the sunset because we too caught up worrying about bills or what's going to happen next, the uncertainty of the future, or we dwelling in the heartbreak of the past. Human beings, the most oppressed species in this galaxy. The most oppressed. According to NASA scientists, there's about 2 billion Earth-like planets in the Milky Way galaxy alone. In the Milky Way galaxy alone, you know, and I'm willing to bet that out of that 2 billion, there's probably a small number of planets that have intelligent life form. Now you can disagree with me, and that's okay. That's cool. You know, people thought the Earth was flat at one time, so it don't matter. But I'm willing to bet that out of that small number, there's even a smaller number of life forms that house that are intelligent, that are more technologically advanced than us, that are further along in their spiritual development than us. They're not concerned about celebrity divorces or marriages. They're not talking about the presidential election. They're not talking about cribs or none of that bullshit. They're not concerned about the depletion of the rainforest or the pollution of the ocean. No. And sometimes I wonder, like, what would they think of us? Or how do they see us? They probably see us as primitive, as savages, unable to control our bodily urges or our animalistic desires. They probably don't want to come around here. They're probably shook to come around here. This planet is the hood. You come to this planet, this is where the prostitutes be at, this is where the drugs be at. Any corner of the globe, you get motherfucking shot in this planet. And that's real talk. The aliens don't want to come here. Nobody want to come here. Who want to come here? We kill each other. We have a culture that's fixated on suicide. Every time you drink that alcohol, every time you do those drugs or eat that fast food, you're killing yourself. I'm not trying to act holier than thou. I smoke weed like as much as the next man. But I'm just saying, it's rather telling of a society when the people within that society will readily choose death rather than life. You know you got it bad when you rather die than be alive. But the question has to be asked. What in the world, or who in the world, or why in the world will we ever be this oppressed? Who is oppressing us? Who is oppressing us? It goes beyond just us right now. You know what I'm saying? I might have watched one too many YouTube videos about the Illuminati, but I'm keeping it real, motherfucker. I'm keeping it real right now. Sometimes you gotta go beyond the veil. You gotta consider some things that are otherworldly. Human beings are the most oppressed species in the universe. But you know what? Despite all of that shit, despite all of it, despite all of the degradation that we commit ourselves to, or the debasement that we subject ourselves to, there's something about us that is phenomenal, that nobody can take away from us. We're resilient. Our spirit inside of us is something strong. You know, we might hate ourselves, we might be fucked up when it's all said and done, but when we come together and things like this, that's unreal. Nobody can hold that. Nobody can hold that back. The world will change when the oppression of a black man in Montgomery, Alabama is felt in the same way as the lesbian in Seattle, Washington. The world will change when the oppression of the Palestinians is felt in the same way as the poor people in the United States of America. When one is oppressed, we all are oppressed. Whether you care to admit it or not, we all family. We all look the same. We have a lot more similarities than we do differences. My oppression is your oppression. But I promise you there's going to come a day very, very soon when things transform and things change. I promise you that. I promise you that. Thank you so much.